22, Huddersfield Giants 18. A great game at the totally wicked stadium. Bit of controversy as well. We'll get to that. Saints go third now, just above the Challenge Cup winners, the Lee Leopards. And of course, the Huddersfield Giants remain in 10-4 points off playoff positions with just 6 games remaining. It was a great start, this, from St. Helens. Tommy Makinson outstanding. The first try, absolutely beautiful from left to right. It went through hands at the speed of light, and there was Tommy on the right-hand side to slot his first one over of a glorious hat-trick at the totally wicked stadium. His second one was another Jack Welsby looping ball. How many times have we seen Jack do that this season? The looping one over the top. Sam Halsall in no man's land, and Makinson goes in for 2. And then the big incident of the game. So let's get to that straight away. Joe Greenwood, excuse me, getting sent off for a strike on a St. Helens player. Now, look, this is really interesting. We're recording this the day after. We know what's happened today in terms of the disciplinary committee. Joe Greenwood got a £250 fine from the Rugby Football League for striking. However, Matty Lees has been given a 2-game ban for a high shot, the very high shot that led to the Joe Greenwood strike. And also involved in that incident was a swinging arm by Morgan Knowles that has not received any attention whatsoever. No wonder Ian Watson was a little bit aggrieved at full time that he got, well, Greenwood was on the wrong end of the punishment in terms of that. You make your own mind up, just calling it straight, just calling it fair. Interesting. And of course, Paul Wellens came out after the game and said it's the worst thing that could have happened. At that point, St. Helens were playing some brilliant rugby league. They had control of the game. And then when Greenwood went off, it just seemed to go a little bit wrong in that first half. A great try from Matty English. The ball, of course, put over the top. Halsall making up for that poor defending for the Makinson second. And then all of a sudden, it's 14 points to 6. And then, of course, we saw Makinson's hat trick. Now, that was, again, a nice try from St. Helens. But did anybody watch and see Tommy Makinson rub his knee? Of course, he's not been doing the goal kicking. I've been saying all year, I think he's carrying some sort of knock in that knee. Wouldn't surprise me if he went under the knife at the end of the season. There's clearly something not right there with Tommy, even though he scored his hat trick. But he does seem to be struggling with his knees, right knee. That's something to keep an eye on, of course, as we go on. And then, of course, the second half comes out and Huddersfield go again. And I get very reminiscent try of the first St. Helens try. Lovely hands from Huddersfield Giants. It ended up, of course, on the right-hand side with Ash Golden. And then he goes. Beautiful stuff from Huddersfield to get us going in the second half. And suddenly it's 2012. And then they back it up with a Kevin Nagama try back at the totally wicked stadium. Connor in the groove at the start of the second half. Lovely little inside ball to Kevin Nagama. He went straight through. Beautiful try from Nagama. And it's 20 points to 18 at that point. And then, unfortunately, Huddersfield switch off. A kick goes up and Matautia collects it completely uncontested. Lovely little grubber kick, it has to be said, from Sione Matautia, straight through the line. And who's there but Lewis Dodd to make it 26-18 before, of course, that man Jack Welsby once again getting on the score sheet for 32 points to 18 wins. St. Helens have been going about their business very astutely this season. Of course, there's a lot of comment over their lack of forwards. Of course, some big injuries have hit them. They've still got plenty of quality and depth in there as the season goes on. Of course, Walmsley and Parsley are going to be big misses, but LMS is back, Knowles is back. They've got a great second row there. I don't think it's as bad as some people may be making out, but it is certainly going to hinder them as they get into the playoff positions. That said, they've got plenty to offer of St. Helens. They're now into third place. They're playing some good rugby league. They're starting to get through some really good transitions in attack. They're definitely ones to watch. There's no doubt about that. But it's going to be interesting to see how they perform. And of course, George Delaney getting his contract this week. He's of course having a fine season. Is the youngster. As for Huddersfield, I think many people tipped Huddersfield for this game. I think most of the rugby league community, other than St. Helens, tipped Huddersfield for this game because, of course, they went into it in incredible form. They were the form team of Super League going into this, which makes it even more impressive that St. Helens come out on top. 4 wins in a row, of course, for them going into this game before, of course, losing out to this rearranged game against St Helens. What's next for them? Well, they've got a home game against Salford coming up this weekend. That'll be interesting. And then it's a second home game in a row, Leeds Rhinos, before going away to the Leeds Leopards. So three very crucial games there. I think it has to be said they have to win all three. If they don't win all three, I think the chances of playoff rugby league will be hindered. As for the Saints, well, they go up against the defeated Challenge Cup runners-up, of course, the Hull KR. They go and play them this Friday night at home before going away to Casford and Wakey. So really, you can't see anything there for me personally. I think the Hull KR one could be tricky this week, but I can't see Saints coming unstuck against Castleford and Wakefield. They will be cementing their places in those top three. They may even have their eyes on maybe a top two place for those home draws in the semi-finals of the playoffs. Who knows? I think they're probably going to go the way of perhaps Wigan and certainly Catalan. I mean, Catalan look a shoe-in now, don't they, for the League Leaders Shield? But don't count Saints out from just pipping Wigan for that. They've got a very favourable running of the Saints, and they'll be fancying that indeed. Great game, bit of controversy, has to be said, but Saints march on 32-18. They're not going away, they're just sticking around it, aren't they? We need to keep a close eye on Paul Wellens' men. What are your thoughts on the match? What were your thoughts on that contentious little moment in the game with Greenwood, Knowles and Leeds? Let us know in the chat. Like, subscribe, share, tell your friends about us, and we'll see you next week for round number 22 in the Sheds. All the best for now.